Hey, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another brand new video. If you guys are new here, my name is AJ, and if you guys been wondering where I've been, I got sick earlier this week, and I'm finally feeling better though. But I wanted to post a video for you guys earlier this week, but I got sick, so I'm here now though. I haven't left, and as you guys can see right in front of me, we have UFC 306, aka Noche UFC, as you guys can see right here. Saturday, September 14th, 10 p.m. EDT. We have Noche UFC. So it is today, and I want to come on and give you guys my live predictions about the main card and the fights happening on the main card. As you guys can see, the main event is O'Malley versus Merab. But let's go down. Let's look at all the fights going on. These are the prelims. A lot of Mexican fighters. If you guys have not heard, which I'd be surprised if you guys haven't heard this, but this is happening at the Sphere in Las Vegas, which if you aren't even familiar with the Sphere, I'll be even more surprised. But the Sphere, the big globe thing that they have in Las Vegas, it's taking place there. This is the first time they're hosting UFC fights there, and supposedly the only time they're hosting UFC fights there. So it is interesting. I'm excited to see how they're gonna host this event in the Sphere, because if you guys aren't familiar with how the Sphere seating arrangement, it's like seats on one side and then there's this big screen on the other side, and the stage is on the floor. I'm not really sure how it's gonna work. It looks very exciting. The tickets for the event were really expensive, but yeah, I'm excited to see how this works. Hopefully, they can make it as exciting for the people at home as for the people in the Sphere. But anyways, let's get into the fights. What you guys are actually here for. We have Raul Rosa Jr. I honestly didn't know he was fighting in the early prelims. If I'm not mistaken, he was at the press conference. So I'm very confused why he's on the early prelims. Maybe I missed something, but I thought they were trying to build up like his kind of fan base and stuff. And I'm not sure who's going to be watching at 7:30 for Raul Rosas Jr. But yeah, that's very interesting. He's the first fight of the night, early prelims. It seems like he's the only early prelim. At least that's what it looks like is here on this fight card. Anyways, we have the prelims. None of these fights I really want to talk about. So let's just jump right into the main card. I just wanted to talk about that Raw Roses Jr. because that was very interesting. We have Ode versus Ronaldo Rodriguez. This seems like a very exciting fight. We have two guys around the same height, and one has a longer reach. Um, I'm not sure. I believe I've seen this dude fight. I'm not too familiar with Ode. Um, I feel like I've seen this fight. It's February, a little bit ago. Let's see. He's coming off a win, and he's coming off of a loss, I believe. He's been submitted twice back to back recently, which is very interesting. Um, I don't know. I feel like I'm going to go. The odds are not even out yet. That's very interesting. I'm gonna go. I don't know. From the press conference, I think I'm gonna go Ronaldo here. He looks very excited, very passionate about this fight, and I think it's gonna be a good fight. I have Ronaldo winning. I probably have it split decision. Yep, I feel like it's gonna go to decisions, and I'm going to Ronaldo split decision win. We have Argentina versus Mexico. Daniel versus. Can we go up? What's going on with my computer? Esteban from Argentina. And what's exciting is all these guys I think have interesting shorts for the night. So we can see some of them here. He has these cool red shorts and these green shorts right here. They're both coming off of a win, 15-1, 13-1. It looks like he probably has quite a longer reach. I'm pretty sure I've seen his last fight as well. It was a unanimous win, and he also has a submission win earlier on. Esteban, I'm not too familiar with. He looks like he's coming off some wins too. I'm going to have to give it to Daniel here. Um, it just could be because I'm more familiar with his game. I haven't really seen Esteban too much. and I've seen Daniel's at least his last fight, and he looked pretty good. Um, yeah, I think so far these fights look like they're gonna be pretty interesting. I know a lot of people were talking about how this fight card did not seem that interesting, but I mean, I can understand that. It does look good as a fight card for Noche UFC. It's just the fact that this fight is in the Sphere, so I feel like a lot of people wanted that Sphere fight to be a lot bigger or like bigger stars, which I mean, it is arguable some of these guys aren't that big, but it is Mexican Independence Day, and yeah, it is kind of interesting that they're hosting this one in the Sphere. But anyways, I am excited for these fights nonetheless. Brian Ortega versus Diego Lopez. I feel like a lot of people are really excited for this fight in particular, and I am as well. I feel like this fight is going to be very interesting and fun to watch. I did watch this Ige versus Lopez. This fight did happen in June, and it was pretty interesting. It was a unanimous decision win. I believe Ige he came on this fight short notice because Lopez was supposed to fight Ortega, and then Ortega got sick. I watched this Youssef versus Lopez fight as well, and it was a knockout, pretty brutal. And then we have Brian Ortega. His last fight was against Rodriguez, and I'm pretty sure I seen this fight as well. And yeah, for this fight, I think I'm going to maybe go. I really like Brian, but maybe I'm gonna have to go Diego for this fight. I do think this is gonna be a good fight. Yeah, Diego is a favorite for this one. So the odds are out for some of the fights, but not all of them. And Diego is from Brazil, so it'll be pretty exciting. Brian, I believe, is Mexican American. For the co-main event, we have Alexa Grasso versus Valentina Shevchenko. They both just not recently, but they fought each other for their last fight, so they both have a draw as their last fight. This is the third time fighting each other. I'm not quite sure why this is not showing up as Grasso's win, but I do believe this is when she got her belt by choking out Savchenko with the rear naked. I'm not sure what happened there, and yes, I don't know why it's not showing up, but their last fight was a draw, so Alexa Grasso did maintain her belt. And these fights have been pretty even. I guess that is why their last fight was a draw. This is a very entertaining fight. I don't even know when was the last time they fought. It was September 16th, 2023. So it is been quite a while. It's almost a year, or yeah, it's been a year since they've fought each other. So quite a while, but um I'm not sure if you guys do remember how close this fight was. It was very entertaining. And yeah, I'm not sure who's going to win this fight. I think this fight as well might be very close. I hope it's not a draw. I kind of want Alexa Grasso to win just so we could see another matchup. I mean, I really enjoy seeing these two fight. It is very entertaining and close, but I really am not a fan of these long um like rivalries, like the whole Brandon Moreno and Davison Figueiredo. I just feel like sometimes they just get a little too long, and Valentino wins this. I can see that happening again, where it's just they keep fighting each other until one of them just moves up or something like that. Or I just don't want a long series of rivalry between these two, and I don't want them holding up the division that long. Um, I do think Alexa Grasso might win. She does have the better odds here, but they are very close. I feel like it might be maybe a split decision win. I'm excited for this fight, but let me know who you guys think is gonna win this fight. Very interesting to hear what you guys think. For the main event of UFC 306 Noche UFC in the Sphere, we have Sean O'Malley versus Merab. They are both coming off of a win. This fight is very interesting on paper, and I really hope this fight is good in the cage. I do think it will be very entertaining. We had O'Malley beating Vera last fight. That was a very interesting fight. He did drop him, which was I believe the first time um Vera got dropped. But yeah, that fight was very interesting. I did think Cheeto was gonna win that fight when it happened, but Sean O'Malley did outstrike him, and it was a very high level striking performance from him. We have Merab beating Cejudo, and I believe that fight was pretty interesting. It was a unanimous decision win. Yes, Cejudo lost, but I'm not sure what's going on with him in his career, with these losses. But Merab and Sean is the two that will be seeing each other in the octagon tonight, and it is a very interesting fight. I really don't know who's gonna win. Sean does have quite a height advantage on Merab, and that reach advantage, it is quite a bit. And if you guys haven't heard what Sean Coaches said in one of the embedded episodes, he basically said Marab's gonna be difficult, but Marab is definitely gonna have to eat punches to get in on Sean. And that is one thing that I can agree with and I think will happen. Normally I don't really like listening to what coaches are saying too much about fights because I mean they're always gonna be pretty biased. But that is one thing that I think will be true if Marab does want to win. He is gonna have to take a lot of punches getting into that reach of Sean O'Malley, which could be the big difference here. And Sean does hit quite hard, it seems, and can really snipe his punches. So I'm not really sure how this is gonna go. I do think Sean O'Malley is gonna walk away with this win. Um, and I think it might be a knockout, maybe in the third or fourth. That's gonna be my prediction for this fight. I think it will be pretty exciting because Merab does seem like a very interesting fighter, has a lot of high energy. I'm not sure. Yep, I think I'm gonna go with Sean O'Malley knockout for the win, and we're gonna have two champions maintain their belts. These are all my predictions for the fight. And one thing that was also pretty interesting in the UFC embedded was Brian Ortega's weight cut or last minute preparations for this fight. It looked pretty interesting where he was going in these like bubbles and stuff like that. I'm not too familiar with those things were, but that was just one thing that I thought looked pretty interesting when I was watching these embedded episodes. But anyways, let me know who you guys think is going to be winning these fights in UFC 306. I think this is a very exciting card, and it's a very exciting fights for Mexicans and for Mexican Independence Day coming up very soon. Yeah, so if you guys did enjoy the video, don't forget to hit that like button. It would mean a lot. Also, smack that subscribe button as well if you guys want to support the channel. Hitting that subscribe button does mean a lot. And comment down below who you guys think is going to win these fights and what you guys think about these fights. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Don't forget to stay fresh.